lies? Have you uncovered what religion really is? Do you identify as an Alkebulan kidnapped? If so, then welcome to The Verdict, where we stand on facts over beliefs. Court is in session. Do you want the facts? Can you handle the facts? Are you over the beliefs? Are you tired of the lies? Have you uncovered what religion really is? Do you identify as an Alkebulan kidnapped? If so, then welcome to The Verdict, where we stand on facts over beliefs. Court is in session. Do you want the facts? Can you handle the facts? Are you over the beliefs? Are you tired of the lies? Have you uncovered what religion really is? Do you identify as an Alkebulan kidnapped? If so, then welcome to The Verdict, where we stand on facts over beliefs. Court is in session. Do you want the facts? Can you handle the facts? Are you over the beliefs? Are you tired of the lies? Have you uncovered what religion really is? Do you identify as an Alkebulan kidnapped? If so, then welcome to The Verdict.
Welcome to The Verdict, people. What it do? Yeah, it's your brother, man, from the motherland, coming to you guys live from the NY, back with another one of that Oral D pod. Well, should I say The Verdict, the Facts Over Belief show. And I am your honorable Junes, Mr. NBIC. And you know I represent that Oral D. Want to give a shout out to the ancestors, to the creators. Want to give a shout out to the YouTubes. And of course, all the Alkebulan kidnaps worldwide. You know I do this for you guys to open your goddamn eyes. Let's do this. My apologies, starting a little late, just coming off the plantation. Then I had to set everything up and then, share it out to a few people. You know what I'm saying? This message needs to start getting out there, you know what I mean? And I've been slacking on my end, due to a lot of things, being a dad all over again, you know what I'm saying? Having to handle that. But, we outside, you feel me? We still outside, we still doing the works, and we still gonna make sure that these people forehead hurt, you heard? But yeah, today, people, I know a lot of you guys are. Matter of fact, hold on. A lot of people been asking me to give a trial response with my outfit on about the Diddy situation. The reason why I don't want to do the Diddy situation, guys, is because I don't like being on the bandwagon. I always thought that was weird. You know what I'm saying? When everybody's going left, I gotta go right, And on top of that, there's bigger things to talk about than Diddy. You understand? Like Ibrahim Toure and how this black general is been hired to be the man to try to take down my son. Look how they put the black on black crime. You understand? So I feel like there's a lot of other things that I should be tapping on and tackling, pause, than, the Diddy situation, because it's already covered, it's already filtered, watered down, and I feel like I did my part. You know what I'm saying? I gave you the Diddy skit when he's dancing, admitting that he did his wrong to Biggie and all that. I did the same thing with the Meek Mills and the audio. Like, I feel like I did enough, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to you guys that subscribed and follow me because of that, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, it's bigger fishes to fry. You feel me? So without further ado, man, we want to talk about African spirituality. And I've been looking at this information for about, I say, 2 weeks now. When I gave you guys the presentation like 2 weeks ago, I was supposed to include, this part of the slide, but due to my rambling and all that, we got way over track of time, right? So I decided to bring this out and have you guys, see, the things that I go looking into, you know what I'm saying? Have you guys see it from my perspective. You understand? And hopefully get a perspective from your end. You know what I'm saying? Like, please leave it in the comments and all that. Like, we want all that, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, you name it. Leave a comment, because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, it's all about the awakening and the uplifting of the Alkebulan kidnaps, and that's the damn fact. Round of applause for that one more time. Come on, guys. So before I do that, let me make sure everything is clear and out the way, because I really, really do not want no discrepancies while we go through this journey, right? So let me share my screen with you guys. Cool. So again, I'm not gonna be able to see the messages until I go back and forth. I'm gonna focus on this, mainly, and give you guys some barbecue chicken. Come on, let's eat. Pause. So this is traditional African religions. Now we know we don't do religion, right? We know religion is something created by the Europeans. That's not something, we never knew what religion was until they show up with that ideology. All right. So we're just gonna call it traditional African spirituality, because in reality, that's just what it is, right? The belief and practices of African people are highly diverse and include various ethnic spiritualities. Anytime you see religious, replace it with spirituality, right? Generally, these traditions are oral. I want you guys to remember that in order for you to find out who you really are, you must speak to the people. And there's a lot of people that you must speak to. You can't solely speak to the people that's on the state of mind of your belief. That's being hypocritical. You must be open minded. When you are a kidnapped individual, like a child that just came out of foster care looking for his mother and his father, he's not allowed to decide what he like or don't like. If he stays in that mentality, he will never get to his mother or father. It's about taking risk. It's about opening doors. As long as it's not life threatening, it's about tapping in. We have to, because we need to learn and know who we are, and what the heck is really going on this earth. Okay? So let us continue. The traditions are oral rather than scriptural and are passed down from one generation through narratives, songs, and festivals. They include beliefs in spirits and higher and lower gods, sometimes including a supreme being, as well as the veneration of the veneration of the dead, use of magic, and traditional African alkebulan medicine. Most spiritual, most spirituality people can be described as anatistic, animalistic, with the various polytheistic and pantheistic aspect. Again, remember, this was in our culture. We do not do monotheism. That is a lie. That is a lie from the pits of these people's hell. That is not what we do. Okay? You can go look down any, when you go down the El Kebulan rabbit hole and speak to the people, everybody will tell you the same thing. That one godfather and all of that came with Europeans. That's their ideology. Okay, their daddy Greek, Zeus and Hercules. Okay, leave that there. Let's continue. Their role of humanity is generally seen as one of the harmonized nature with the supernatural. The spread. Hey, this is the basics. Now, again, I'm just showing you guys this so you guys can just, have a clear understanding of having to start from the foundation up. This is the whole purpose, is for us to start from the foundation up. We don't know who we are. We don't know what we're doing. We don't know nothing. All we know is yes, sir, no, ma'am. That is all we know. And when those are not met, we know how to trigger and take our anger, frustration out on each other. Taught behavior. Okay, you're taught this. This is not who you are. It's not what we are, but we need to find that. Okay, let us continue. Highly complex animistic beliefs believe the core concept of traditional African spirituality. This includes the worship of totalitarian deities, nature worship, ancestor worship, and the belief in an afterlife, comparable to the traditional spirituality around the world. Let's go back. Look back. Wait, compared to the other traditional religions around the world, while some religions have a pantheistic worldview with a supreme creator god next to a other god and spirits, others follow a purely polytheistic system with various gods, spirits, other supernatural beings. Traditional African Alkebulan spirituality also have elements of the totemism and the shamanism and the veneration relics. I want to click and see what it is, but I don't want to get off task. We'll click that at the end. Okay. At the end, we'll click that. Okay. It says traditionally African spirituality, like most other ancient traditions around the world, were based on what? Oral tradition. Based on what? Oral tradition. Based on what? Oral tradition. These things was passed from the beginning to now. Some say that these things has been tainted and changed, and you know, when if one person say by the time it gets to the 10th person it's a different, they keep telling you that is not true. Such information as powerful like that is here. Don't think they took out all the spiritual leaders. They didn't. We're still here, guys. They're still here. They're in places they're in places they can't even walk on. And they know that. It's intentional. But let us continue. It says these traditions are not religious principles, but a cultural identity that is passed on through stories, myths, and tales. That's what they want you. The only myth and tale is you know where that. You know what I'm saying? From one generation to the next, the community, one's family, and the environment play an important role in one's personal life. I want you guys to pay attention to that. Let me run that back. The community, one's family, and the environment play an important role in one's person's life. Now, ask yourself this question. In this community of ours, in this one family of ours, huh? Do we have any understanding of any African traditions, customs, and way of life? Us as El Kebulan kidnaps, do we have anything that connects us to anything El Kebulan? No. So what is doing our community, right? What is in our what is one's family, the community, and the environment? What is that on the earth today? Isn't it not religion? Isn't it not religion where everybody got a piece of the pie? Come on, man. Everybody's eating from the word religion right now. Everybody. Especially since the Pope died, everybody eating off the word religion right now. Isn't it not? So the entire world is under religion, and look at the condition of the world. Forget the world. I don't even want to go that far. Let's keep it home. Look at the condition of us, the El Kebulan kidnaps, even the El Kebulan colonize. They the ACs, we the AKs, they the ACs over there. You heard the El Kebulan colonize. Look at the condition we are in, and what are the what is the major thing that we both got in common? Yeah, I'll let you answer that. It says followers believe in the guidance of their ancestor spirit. Amongst many traditions, African spirituality, there are spiritual leaders and the kind of priests. These individuals are essential to the spiritual and the spirit survival of the community. The soul survival of the community, excuse me. There are myths that are responsible for healing and dividing. See, they saying it's myths. I know these things personally, to be for real. I remember somebody being in a coma. Doctor said he's not gonna make it. They was giving ultimatums like, yo, we gonna give you 2 weeks. He's gonna stay on the machine for 2 weeks. If nothing happens, we taking it off. They said that they could smell the brain. It was dead. Listen, I'm about to give you some barbecue chicken right here. Monday I went to go see a voodoo mandem. And they did something. Told him to go at the hospital at this particular time and do this. That man went there that one particular time and did this. The next day, doctors called and said, we don't know what happened. It's a miracle. Why am I saying this, people? Why am I saying this, people? We lead the category in every criteria here in America. We talking death, we talking disease, we all type of diseases, sexually, physically, mentally, all of it. We are the leading category. And we also the leading categories of hospital mistakes, hospital death, experimental death, malpractice, etc., etc. We lead the category, especially my El Capulan women. And you know where they got that idea from, right? And you see that they ain't never changed, right? Meanwhile, you want to shake and twerk and laugh and dance in front of them like it's all peaches and cream, huh, mama? Listen, ain't no money in the world worth what they gonna do when you get old, when that body can't shake, when that food can't digest. Hey, I promise you, you see girls looking gorgeous, phenomenal, catch that C and literally look like a CC, a CH, you heard? Is that real? But we playing around. But anyway, why am I saying that? Because we used to heal ourselves, bro. Even us as slaves, even us when we were slaves, we never went to these people. When we were sick, everything was home remedy, bro. We took care of ourselves, bro. And we're forgetting that, and we not only we're forgetting it, we're not even passing that information down to the children. The children nowadays, the minute they get sick, got a headache, got a fever, they this. The first thing in their mind, mommy, I need to go to the doctor. Taught behavior. And once you in these people's care and you sign that waiver, they can do whatever. I'll leave it as that. Let us continue. It says there are mystical that are responsible for healing and divining and a kind of fortune telling and counseling similar to shamans. These traditional healers have to be called by ancestors or gods. I'm hey, I told you. They gotta be called. They don't tell you the real story of the Haitians. They just telling you that they was just fed up. Nah. The missing link to that entire story was them calling on Ogun and dancing to O'Shea. Oh yeah, they never tell you that part. Why? Just imagine all El Kebulans realized that their strength and power was always within them in the connection to the universe, from the universe to the ancestors, to the ancestors, to the El Kebulan deities, to the El Kebulan deities, to the creators, to the creators. It's just a phenomenal thing when you know that this is what we have to use to win. Keep them in the church. Fake the you know's death and make the whole world mourn for 14 days. And listen, check this out. You know with what they got, they made it rain and mourn for 14 days. It's been nasty for 14 days. Some of y'all wasn't paying attention, but I got you. Let us continue. It says they undergo strict training and learn many necessary skills, including how to use natural herbs for healing and other more mystical skills, like the finding of a hidden object without knowing where it is. Traditional African spirituality believed that ancestors maintain a spiritual connection with their living relatives. Most ancestral spirits are generally good and kind. Negative actions taken by ancestor spirits are to cause minor illness, to warn people that they have gotten onto the wrong path. Native African spiritualities or traditions are centered on ancestor worship, the belief in spirit world, supernatural beings, and free will. Unlike the later developed concept of faith, deceased humans and animals are important objects, still exist in the spirit world, and can influence or interact with the physical world. Forms of polytheism was widespread in most of ancient Africa and other regions of the world before the introduction of what? Islam, Christianity, Judaism, the Abrahamic religion. Huh? And all those that's claiming the Abrahamic religion are the ones that's doing all the whoop whoop to the world. Huh? Okay. Cool. You still think it's okay. No problem. It says an exception was the short-lived monotheistic religion created by the Pharaoh. Okay, remember I told you that this religion that where everybody is under got their foundation from the Pharaoh. When with Cleopatra, is it Cleopatra or is it Queen She? No, it's Cleopatra. When Cleopatra and the Caesar dude invaded Europe, they realized because back in the days we documented everything. Well, the Egyptians did, right? They see how powerful and how long Egypt stayed in rulership, right? How long Egypt stayed in rulership, and they said that this is something that we must implement. And when Caesar died, they didn't get a chance to orchestrate it the way that they wanted to until what's that man's name? Constantine came into place. See, Constantine was there to finish the job. You see, the last strike after they colonized and territorialized these areas, The final frontier was to have everybody subjected to some religion. And you only had three options. And they had to go in line with the Abrahamic religion. Now, ever since El Kebule Kidnap's been following these Abrahamic religions, those that's claiming these Abrahamic religions, look what positions they are in and look where you're at. Listen, this is not what's the guy that owns the Cowboys? Jerry Jones. This ain't George Bush. This ain't the Europeans that came out of, so-called England and made their way here. No, those are not the ones running the scene anymore. They haven't been on the scene since the 19 I think the last run for them was the late 68, 74, 75. Once these people got them into the hippie mode and party and taking drugs, it was over. There was the changing of the hands. You don't realize that these people got to their position when the El Kebulan gave them the strength. Remember, they're not connected to the earth, bro. They can't be under the sun for too long. They can't walk on the floor barefoot when the floor is 180 degrees. It's too much. But you can. They know where the electromagnetic energy come from. They know where the electromagnetic energy come from. If you're thinking that I'm lying, the food that they eat to survive is not alkaline. If they eat too much alkaline, they can dissolve. If you eat too much of their food, you will dissolve. We're two genetically different makeups, and they know that. You listen. They came into your land and said, "Yo, how do these people have all this gold, diamonds, big trees? Look at this." Nah, something is up. They came in like buddies. Blame King Alfonso for that, bro. This is why the Congo is still suffering till this day, guys. The Congo is still suffering till this day because of what King Alfonso did. Their ancestors have not yet released their foot on the necks of the Congolinians since then, bro. Yeah. King Alfonso committed treason. And what makes matters even worse, those brothers and sisters out there still can't see that. Them brothers and sisters out there is going through what they're going through is still calling on the enemy. Tell me one place in El Kebulan that suffered the way that the Congolinians suffered. Tell me anywhere. I got 1,000. Anywhere. If you can show me that. Promise you can. Because King Alfonso is the one that brought the enemy to the state. And the Congolinians will never recover until they escape. They got to break out of it. But their ancestors is working. Let's go. Where was I? It says, okay, no, I read that already. The Pharaoh and Akhenaten, who made it mandatory to pray to his personal god Aten. See the Atenism. This remarkable change to traditional Egyptian religion was, however, reverted by his youngest son, I can't say the name, high gods, along with other more specialized deities, ancestral spirits, the territorial spirits, and being are a common theme amongst traditional African spirituality, highlighting the complex and the advanced culture of ancient Africa. Some research suggests that certain monotheistic concepts, such as the belief in a high god or force next to other god deities, sometimes seems as an intermediate between humans and the creators, were presented within Africa before the introduction of what? The Abrahamic religion. These indigenous concepts were different from the monotheism found in the Abrahamic religion. Let's go. Traditional African medicine is also directly linked to the traditional African spirituality. According to Clement E. Vantros, the various spiritual traditions of Africa are united by a basic animism. According to him, the belief in spirits and ancestors in the most important elements of African spirituality, gods were either self-created or evolved from spirits or ancestors which got worshipped by the people. He also noted that most modern African folks' spirituality was strongly influenced by non-African religions, mostly Christianity, Islam, and thus many differ from ancient forms. Again, this is what I try to tell you. Okay. A lot of us are not following our ways. We're just following the ways of the enemy. Check this out. Me and the Wiz having a conversation, and she brought up a crazy scenario, right? She said, she said, all it takes for somebody to be removed from their traditions and customs is just one generation. For example, some let's just say a migrant comes to America and have a child in America. That child that's born in America will pick up the ways of America and will never know the ways of Mexico, Haiti, Jamaica, Puerto Rico. They will never know that unless you infuse that. But what is the high possibility? Your exposure to him and his exposure to the American lifestyle it doesn't add up, right? And he then is gonna pick up on the American language. He's gonna pick up on the American women, etc. He might indulge into American activities. He may uphold yours. He may speak the language because you made sure that he learned his Spanish. You made sure that he learned his Creole. You made sure that he learned his patois. You made sure. But when he has another child, it's a high possibility that that child wouldn't even consider himself a Mexican. Why? Because by that time, at this point, this person is gonna be full fledged. The father's already indulged in America, and this child is gonna be the icing on the cake. And just another generation is gonna be beyond. Why am I saying this, people? Why am I saying this? That if King Alfonso bought this in the 1500s to El Kebulan, by the time this generation gets to us, where we at now, we will have totally forgotten everything of El Kebulan. Or we're going to associate everything that we know of El Kebulan, we're going to try to associate it with the Euro-Christian ideology. That's what I'm trying to have you guys to understand. That we are so far removed that your movement has to be under the pupils and the viewpoints and the philosophies of those that put you in these circumstances. That doesn't make sense. Or I'm about to say or I. Or our information completely removed from the earth that we don't know where to go? No, it's there. You gotta go, you gotta wanna get it. You gotta wanna read stuff like this. This is why I wanted to share my screen, because I want you guys to see, oh, this is what I be reading. And you see everything that I be clicking on. I click on it. I'm like, okay. And then when I see one of my people that's from El Kebulan, I ask these questions. That's how I get my this is how I get my validation. I don't go asking a young El Kebulan. I'm not gonna ask a young AC. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go speak to, hey, mama love, you look 65, 70. You got some wisdom on you, et cetera, et cetera. And some of the elder ones are destroyed too. I heard it all, but I still gotta keep searching. Okay, and that's what you gotta do as well. You still gotta keep searching. Like I tell everybody, these people's story cannot be the end all be all of your existence, because a lot of things don't add up. And if it doesn't add up and it doesn't make sense, you got to reach a point in your life where you're going to say, hold on, if this don't make sense, I'm way too grown as an adult, as a father, as a grandmother, as a husband, as a wife, etc., to be falling for things that does not make sense. Okay? When you know when that's just like believing that Santa Claus at your age, believing that Santa Claus is gonna come through the project windows to drop you a gift. Come on. Yo, Santa Claus bought me a big ass PlayStation 5. How he, yo, man, yo, I don't know, man. I think he opened the door and came through the elevator. Come on, man. Come on. Like, we gotta do better. Let's go. It says traditional African spirituality generally hold the belief of the after of life after death. Um, the spirit world are realms in which spirits, but also gods resides, with some also having the concept of reincarnation, in which deceased humans may reincarnate into their family lineage, blood lineage, if they want or have something to fulfill. The Sira concept of reincarnation reject the notion of the incarnation of reincarnation of the supreme deities and the creator Rogo, well, I guess. However, the reincarnation of the Pentagon or soul is well held belief in the Sir spirituality. There are often similarities between traditional African religions, African spirituality, located in the same sub-region. Central Africa, for instance, has similar religious traditions. Central Africa have similar religious traditions in countries of the what? Democratic Republican of the Congo, the Congo Republic of the Congo, Rwanda, Buganda, Zimbabwe, Mali. The people in those countries who follow traditional spiritual practices often venerate ancestors through rituals and worship the land or a divinity through regional cults or shrine cults, respectively. Now, again, you see, you see how they literally, you see how they started off with the Congo, because they know that the Congo was the first place that introduced and lost themselves. And to me personally, I think it's more like a mockery. Aha, this is the first place. Look, the Congo. But listen to what the Congos was doing. Look, let's go. Look. Jacob, Jacob Olapina, Nigerian American professor of indigenous African traditions at Harvard University, summarized many traditional African spiritualities as complete animalism, religious, spiritualist, traditions and beliefs of African people before Christianity, Islam, and colonization of Africa. Ancestors' veneration has always played a significant part in the traditional African culture and may be considered as the central to Africans' worldview. Ancestral ghosts slash spirits are an integral part of reality. The ancestors are generally believed to reside in the ancestral realm, spiritual slash world, while some believe that the ancestors became equal in power to the deities. Now, I don't know too much about it. I don't. I'm still learning, still searching, still searching, still learning. But one thing I'm not doing, I'm not basing my information from the viewpoints and the understanding of any Abrahamic religion. I am sorry. That right there, we will not be doing. It is over for that. But what we will be doing is tapping in into our El Kebulan spirituality. Come on. And think about this, people. Think about this. Think about this. Think about this. I got to show my face. Hold on. Think about this. Like, for real. People. Think about this. 400 years removed, bro. 400 plus years removed. 400 years of their ideologies, 400 years of their philosophies, 400 years of their story, 400 years of their belief, 400 years. Don't you want a breath of fresh air and participating in something black? One thing for certain, two things for sure. When I go to these people's areas, you would never see them with an Egyptian cross and an Egyptian chain. You would never see that on them. You would never see them name their child after an El Kebulan name. Never. But you the guys that's saying it's time for us, we're gonna be here, the other nations there. We're saying all of this, but we're not even having the desire to really want that. You gotta have the desire. You gotta have that fire. Something in you gotta be burning. Say, you know what, bro? Yo, son, I don't want this. Like for real. Like I woke up one day and I said, yo, these people keep lying, they lying, they lying, they lying. It's another lie and another lie. I open this door, I'm thinking I found something sweet, another lie. And it's like, damn, bro, how much lies can these people tell us? For what? Who knows? But one thing for certain, two things for sure. I want to learn I want to learn about Africa. I want to learn about Kebulan. I want to learn about my people. I'm not gonna do what Dr. Ben did. I'm not gonna do what Brother Wilson did. I'm not gonna do what they did. I'm not gonna make my journey trips to go to Egypt and take pictures with pyramids and a whole bunch of Arabs smoking cigarettes. That city is gone, bro. Leave it alone. It's over for that. Over for that. You go try to ask these people information, niggas gonna set you up into the wolves, bro. It's over for that, bro. Over for that. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, what's next on the script? Got a beautiful continent, bro. Some of you guys travel all through United States. Pictures, Grand Canyon, all of that. But we don't got nothing for El Kebulan. And let's not act like we don't got the finances and the resources to get there. That's all I'm saying. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? it says the defining line between deities and ancestors is often contested, but overall ancestors are believed to occupy a higher level of existence than the living human beings and are able to bestow either blessings or illness upon their living descendants. Ancestors can offer advice and bestow good fortune and honor to their living descendants, but they can also make demands such as instant that their shrines be properly maintained and prohibited, right? A belief in ancestors also testify to the inclusive nature of traditional African spirituality by posting that the deceased progenitors still play a role in the lives of their living descendants. And I'm going to tell you this all personally. When my father passed away, my father was still in the house. I didn't know that he was in the house. From what my mom's telling me growing up a Catholic, she told me that was demonic. And because of that, everybody was fearful. Come to find out, when somebody passes away, first and foremost, you're not even supposed to cry. It's not supposed to be a day of mourning, bro. And I know it's hard for us to process that. And I know it's going to be hard for me to process that. But in reality, it's not supposed to be in a state of mourning. It's supposed to be in a state of celebration. You're supposed to mourn more for the birth of your child than the death of somebody. Because you see what your woman went through. She looked like she wasn't gonna make it. That's the morning. He's like, yo, baby, you all right? You okay? Damn, honey, I'm so sorry. Yo, get her some water. Yo, you see the state of mind that the person is in is mourning. When the person dies, you're supposed to be like, yo, man, yo, I'm happy. Yo, look over us. Please, I love you. I'm happy. It's finally, especially like if the person was just going through it and it's like finally, yo, you get to rest. But don't be afraid. Don't be like, because she or he is gonna come knock on your door. And another thing we wasn't supposed to do, you was not supposed to bury your family 50 trillion miles away. Your family's supposed to be buried under the land that you own. They go back into the earth. That land is supposed to be yours. That forever. You understand? You're not supposed to bury them in these people's cemeteries and you gotta wait for them to allow you to come in to see your loved ones. No, we're supposed to never do that. And the reason why they did that is because they didn't want you to connect and have any remembrance of anything El Kebulan. Everything was strategic, people. Let us continue. My bad for the rambling, but you know how I do, guys. He says, Olapanya rejects the Western Islamic definition of monotheism and says that such concept could not reflect the complex African traditions that are too simplistic. While some traditions have a supreme being next to the other deities, Others have not. Monotheism does not reflect the multiplicity of the ways that the traditional African spirituality have conceived of deities, gods, and spiritual beings. He summarized that traditional African spiritualities are not only spiritual, but a worldview, a way of life. This was a way of our life. Yes, your ancestors did walk with you. That voice in your head is a family member. Some of us are wilding. Yeah, some of us do get sick because a lot of us is falling off task. I fell off task, had to get back. You fell off task, had to get back. We all got a mission and a purpose. The purpose is quite clear. Reach the masses, touch the souls. As human beings, as the El Kebulan kidnapped, our job is to always be there for each other. No matter what the circumstances are, you got to be there for each other because we are all we got. When it's all said and done, it's going to be us and you know what, okay? Ceremonies. West Central African spiritual practices generally manifest themselves in communal ceremonies or the divinatory rites in which members of the community, overcome by forces, are excited to the point of going into meditative trance in response to the rhythm or the driving drumming or singing. One spiritual ceremony practice in the Gabon and Cameroon is the Okayi practiced by several Bantu ethnic groups in this state, depending upon the region. Drummings or instrumental rhythms played by respective musicians, each of which is unique to a given deity or ancestors. Participants embody a deity or ancestors' energy or state of mind by performing distinct rituals, movements, or dances which further enhance their elevated consciousness. You see why they got you twerking your ass instead of doing stuff like this? Because you're gonna tap into something that is too powerful. They know what they did wrong in Haiti. And then you Haitians took too much. So they know what they did wrong in Haiti. That's why Haiti's suffering right now. You guys thinking this is prophecy. No, this is not prophecy. This is not prophetic. This is propaganda at its highest order. This is propaganda at its highest order. This is what Caesar envisioned when he says that he wanted to rule the world so much. He wanted to rule the world to the point that even the people knew that he ran the world. This is where we at now. Come on, people. Ah, man. It says when this transit-like state is witnessed and understood, and the adherents are privileged to a way of contemplating the pure or the symbolic embodiment of a particular mindset or frame of reference. This builds skills as separating the feeling excited by the mindset from their spiritual manifestation in daily life. Such separation and subsequent contemplation of the nature and the sources of the pure energy or feeling severe to help participants manage and accept them when they arise in the Mandarin context. This facilitates better control and transformation of these energies into positive cultural appropriate behavior through thought and speech. Also, this practice can give rise to those in these trans uttering words which, when interpreted by a culturally educated, innovative, or diviner, can provide insights into appropriate direction which the community or individual might take to accomplish its goal. What you think the El Kebulans in Haiti was doing? Huh? They was getting into that trends. I seen a Haitian in Dominican Republic. It was on my Twitter. This Dominican had a 12 gauge shotgun. You know, this man shot this man right in his chest. And that man still walked up to that dude. The dude shot again, still walked up to the dude. The dude got so scared he dropped the gun and ran. Why am I saying this? Is that we have a divine power that nobody, and I mean nobody, can control but us. There's something about us that these other people despise. And it had nothing to do with no being no 12 tribes or no blood clot Israel. They're the bullshit. Part of my language. Ain't no, no, no. Is that electromagnetic energy that we all possess. Yo, bro, we connect with the trees. We connect with the leaves, with the fishes. Everything on this earth connects with us effortlessly. That's what the hate is for. Had nothing to do about no, oh, the promise seed. What promise? The people that got the promise are the ones that's running the world right now. Don't you know Jesus' kingdom is right now? From the prophecy of when he said it was going to happen until now, this is his kingdom. Where the most El Kebulan kidnaps was taken, there is a big statue of Jesus hovering over the people. That is the sign to let you know that this world is mine. Let us continue. Followers of traditional African spirituality pray to various spirits as well as to their ancestors. This includes also nature, elementary, animal spirits. The difference between powerful spirits and the gods is often minimal. Most El Kebulan societies believe in several high gods and a large amount of lower gods and spirits. These are some spiritual with a single supreme being. Chuake, Nambi, Ulamari, Nagel, Rogu, etc. Okay? You see the Ulamari right here? You see the Ulamari right here? Do you guys see any borders of blue? Huh? The Oluran, the Ogun, the Oshe, huh? Huh? Traditional African spirituality generally believe in an afterlife, one or more spiritual worlds. Ancestral worship is an important basic concept in nearly all African spirituality. Some African spirituality adapt different views through the influence of Islam or even Hinduism. We've been compromised. Let's fix the compromisation. Somebody bring out the what? Somebody bring out the whiteout. Or should I say the blackout? Let's clean up this mess. Let's clean up this mess. I think it's about time that we clean up this mess. You don't think so, guys? You don't think it's time that we clean up this mess? Let us continue. These are more similarities than difference between all traditional African religions. Although Jacob has written that it is difficult to truly generalize them because of the sheer amount of differences and variations between the tradition, the deities, and the spirits are honored through liberation or sacrifice of animals, vegetables, cooked food, flowers, semi precious stones, or precious metals. The will of the God or spirit is sought by the believers also through the constellation of the divinities, the divinities or the divination. Traditional African spirituality embrace natural phenomenons, Eba and tides, waxing and unwinding moon, rain and drought, and the rhythm pattern of architectural according to the Gotta Lab, whatever this thing is. Listen, I butcher everything. Okay, my whiz will tell you. Uh, I don't know. Been like that since forever. Okay. I mean, Ubuntu is a Nigawani Bantu term meaning humanity. Let me make the computer say it accordingly. Hold on. Niguni Bantu, term meaning humanity, is part of the concept sometimes translated as I am because we are also I am because of you, or the humanity towards others. In Zulu, Numantu. Hold on. No, this is long. Pause. That was nasty, guys. Sheesh. Ningomantu kunamantu na nabantu. In East Coast, the later term is used, but is often meant in a more philosophical sense to mean the belief in a universal bond of sharing the sharing that connects all humanity. It is a collection of values and practices that the people of Africa or of African origin view as making people authentic human beings, while the Nions of this value and practice vary across different ethnic groups. They all point to one thing: an authentic individual human being is part of a large and more significant, rational, communal, societal, environmental, and spiritual world. Spiritual world. Okay, I'm not gonna go through all of this. You know, these are things that you guys can look through. It's already 7 o'clock, and I said I was gonna go outside. These are the things that you guys can look into. I mean, come on, people. These things are right here in front of you guys. It is really time for us to stop allowing this Abrahamic religion, fear tactics, to stop you from trying to find out who you are. I already laid out the blueprint to show you that whatever they saying is not true. Now the objective is now trying to find out who we are. I need to start off in Benin. Some of you guys need to start off in Nigeria. Some of you guys need to start off in Mali. Some of us need to start off somewhere. But the goal is to find out who we are, people. That is the goal. That is the mission. All right, guys. And shout out to everyone that tuned in. I wanted to just give you guys some knowledgeable information that's gonna take you out of this hypnosis that we are in. We are in a hypnosis, guys. Okay, we have fallen asleep and we have gotten off task. The task has always and will always remain the same, which is freedom, which is freedom, which is separation. Okay, we don't want no liberation. We don't want no reparations. We want separation. Why we don't want no reparations? Because the reparation is paper that's not backed by nothing. That is literally something that was created to control. Freedom cannot be controlled. I want complete freedom. So I cannot accept a check from you because it's going to come with speculations. It's gonna come with me having to know that I'm spending money with a face that doesn't represent me, that's not of me, that is not even backed of anything of me that comes from me. So that is a dub, right? You see? You see, black girl, black girl magic already know. You know? Okay? So at the end of the day, people, the mission is quite simple. Find out who you are. Find out what's going on. Correct what's wrong. And let us proceed to the next chapter. My goal right now, moving forward on this podcast, is to bridge the gap between the man and the woman. Every house that I've been in, and everybody that I speak to, everybody that I know that is successful, everybody I'm talking about successful, generational wealth, etc., etc. Every time I speak to them, you know what they all have in common? They have a wife by their side. And we gotta have our wives, our husband, which is gonna be our children after, which is gonna end up leading to what? A strong community. It's your brother man from the motherland. I came to you guys live. I then told you I was gonna give you what you need. I'm gonna give you the tools. I apologize for my butchering of the words. You know I'm from Brooklyn, and you know I just move like that. But you know what I mean. And I want you guys to take this and build. It is time for us to rebuild. Nothing more, nothing less. This is rebuild mode. Like, comment, share, subscribe, join the movement, follow me on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Rumble, follow me on TikTok, follow me, because I promise I will guide thee back to the motherland, because I only stand on facts, and I'm going to always fight for the El Kebule kidnap. And the only thing we want is a goddamn land back. Are you dumb or are you dumb? And I'ma holler at y'all. One.